There we go. YouTube, you're slow today. Let me just get the chat set up really quick. We're going to make the goal very short today, because I got some things to do around the house here. The lake house. And if you're watching at the beginning, just fast forward through the first minute or two till we can set up all the chats and push all the right buttons and get everybody in here. I hit the do not disturb, hit the all messages on the chat. There we go. And that didn't take long to set up this time. Usually it's very finicky. You know, my new chair that is only like less than a year old is very squeaky today. And it's annoying. Maybe I need to get some oil or something. Because every time I move, it's like... And it's hot. It's so hot in here today. It's like 94 degrees, and I don't even think it's peaked yet. And you know, my AC doesn't work when it's hot outside. Oh, and it's costing me so much money to run. I just got a $300 bill. People, I'm on disability. I just got a $300 LADWP bill. Never had one that high in my life. Jewel Giacana, welcome in. One of my pips, first one here. Mimi Jones, welcome back. Joyce G, hello. Cats in the house, 48. It's a hot one, Cats in the house. Leanne Rayner, there's another pip. Oh, wow, all my pips are coming in. Yeah, I have never received a bill this high. Now, it is a 2-month bill, but it's $291.68. Yeah, right here. Can you see that? $291.68. And sorry that the chair's decided to be squeaky today. I don't know what that is about. Maybe because it's so dry in here. Maybe it needs some oil or something. Like, anybody got WD-40? Because, like, that's driving me nuts. I'm very sensitive to noises like that. So, and that doesn't include the power bill that comes with my rent. But they charge, like, an extra bill with the rent, like for the water and the trash and the building power, like the exterior power. That's just for my unit. Like, it's a good thing I have a substantial, not huge, but a larger than normal YouTube check coming in September. Because, oh my gosh. Oh, you're driving, Donna. Okay, you got my text because I know you wanted me to let you know what was going on. Can you see? Or you, I don't want you to, like, be driving and not be able to see, unless you just want to listen, because I have Donna's package. Yes. And I did cover your address, just, you know, for your security. I know. And, you know, it costs $80 lately, $80 to $100 to get 3 or 4 of those half bags that are not even full of groceries, and it lasts me 2 or 3 days. So between groceries and this, I mean, this is more than what most people would pay in rent. What I'm paying in just groceries and utilities now on a disability, you know, income. I don't see a good future for myself or my pets if this continues. You know, the country is absolutely out of control. And there goes my Lemaitre clock. You know, my subscriber count when I was at 3K and I was at 3,600, it kept going up and down between 3,650 and 3,660, up, down, up, down, like a windshield wiper, back and forth, for like a week. Now I've gained 5K subscribers in, like, you know, 2+ weeks, and I'm stuck at the same mark. I'm at 5,350, then I'm at 5,360, and it's up, down, like a windshield wiper going left, right, and I'm either hearing the cha-ching or I'm hearing the thunder. Like, yeah, my apartment is extremely small. Now, during my show, I do have my ring light on, I have my kitchen LED light on, and I have my end table lamp on. And normally during the day, those lights wouldn't be on. But those lights are on during the show. And I do turn off my computer now, like my desktop, when I'm not using it. Let's see. Oh, I don't have anything, Sandra, but let me know where you send it. Do you mean like I don't have a super chat. But thank you. I appreciate that. That'll go towards the LADWP bill. Where'd you send it? Thank you. Let's see. Okay, Donna, I know you're driving, so I don't want you to like have a car wreck or something. But I wanted to do this in front of you. I have no idea what it is. It was like I was like a kid at Christmas, last night. I wanted to open this so bad, like in the middle of the night, but I didn't because I wanted to see what you sent me. Let's see what it is. I got a card. Oh, I had this angel blessed to watch over you and your family. You will have to straighten her up a little. Thinking of you. Love you so much, Donna McCoy. Look at that. And I love Peanuts and I love Snoopy. And oh, it's an angel. Oh my gosh. Look at this. It's handmade. Did you make this, Donna? I love this. Oh my God. Made with the heart. Yeah, Leanne, LED lights do not pull a lot of power. The kitchen fixture is LED. Oh my gosh. Is this needlepoint or crochet or what is this? Because I know it's not knit. What is this? Because I'm not, I'm not a sewer. That's not my skill level. I did some hook and latch when I was a kid. It looks like crochet. Yeah, it doesn't look like needlepoint. Is it crochet? Yes, it is. Oh, Donna, I love you so much. You didn't need to do this. And tonight, I will be working on getting a little something sent back to you, just because you've helped me so much. And by the way, Donna, I did open my other package last night. We can talk about that privately. But isn't this nice? Oh my gosh. There's a little hook on the back. Oh, I love it. This means so much to me. When people do things like this, like they write a letter and you even sent a card like Donna, and it's a Hallmark. You know what? I was just shopping the other day when I bought the sympathy card for the Ojai Raptor Center. And let me tell you, greeting cards, they're expensive. They're like $4 or $5 now just for a card. And this is so cool. And I have saved every single thing that anybody has ever sent me. Even when I get like an Amazon package through the Amazon wish list, I saved the little gift receipts. And I saved all the birthday cards. And then I just added the letter from Canada that came from Sweet Jean in Ontario. And now this. Oh my gosh, Donna. I had to do that first before I love you as a friend. Me too. That's from Sandra. I love you too, Sandra. But I don't see anything on my phone about $2. So let me know what you're talking about. Did you send it in the mail? Did you send it on a Venmo or a Cash App or a PayPal? Because I don't see it in my chat. But, and you don't need to send anything. You can just, I'm happy with you guys just watching. But, yeah, it all adds up, especially now that I got to pay LADWP. This. Yeah. Suzanne sent the treat. Well, that and Sandra's incoming $2 will go to this. Now, it is a 2-month bill. But you have to realize my building, besides the rent, it varies every month because they tack on a water bill, trash, and their exterior power. And you know what? They should frickin' pay for that because I don't own the building. And the gas and the water is shared amongst the tenants. But yet the guys upstairs, they had like 1,000 people in that unit for years. It was a Lebanese Airbnb. And, another neighbor, she uses our laundry room where she's running a laundry business. And I've thought that for years. And a neighbor, basically ratted her out the other night, said, I was in the laundry room and guess what happened? And she was talking to her customer and she had all the washers and the dryers. And I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. And she goes, are we paying for this? And I'm like, of course we're paying for this. She goes, we're paying for the water and the gas so she can run her laundry business. And I'm like, yeah. I said, I'm not going to turn her in, but it's up to you if you want to do that. So yeah, so I get this, this big bill that's on top of my rent, which goes up every single year. My rent is almost up to what my mortgage was before I moved out of that place into this place. And I moved into this place to save money. And, it's almost what my prior mortgage was. But I don't have a six-figure business anymore. So look at that, almost $300. Oh, you sent it on PayPal. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Well, $2 from Sandra, and I've got a lucky angel from Donna, and I'm up to 2 cents in jewels today. So thank you, Suzanne8264. Now, I wanted to talk about something, and I don't talk about the other YouTubers very much here because, I want to promote my channel and not theirs. That's very sweet of you, Sandra. And you do watch a lot of the replays, and I appreciate that. I was watching another YouTuber last night, and because I'd heard that he had a call-in from someone in the Catalina foothills, and it was a woman, and she said she'd been trying to reach him for months, and she finally happened to reach him, and then he made like a long-form content of that video, of that phone call, and it was a woman named Connie. I know that sounds familiar because I have a Connie who is a mod, Connie LA66, and we've also recently had new members that have joined, Connie E and Connie I. Now, this is probably a different Connie. I mean, coincidences do happen. Yes, JLR. I was watching JLR, and he got a call from a woman named Connie. And it just so happens that Connie from Tucson, is the next door neighbor to Annie and Tommaso. And, as far as I'm concerned, he hit the friggin' jackpot that this woman called. And she was very nice, by the way. She seemed like a very, very nice woman. I have no idea how long she's lived in Tucson, but she's lived in her home for 35 years. And it seemed like back in the day, all the neighbors were pretty tight and knew each other. But she said Tucson had changed a lot over the last few years, and it's not the same as it used to be, especially since the pandemic. And I guess the neighborhood is what she was trying to say. It's just not as tight anymore. And they had lived there. She didn't know this until, quite some time into the Nancy Guthrie missing persons case, that they even lived next door to her. In fact, that was one of the places that Savannah was hiding out with Annie Tommaso before they had to split where they were staying for security reasons, and then they all left. She knew who Savannah was, and she knew that Savannah was from, Tucson, and she watches Savannah, but she doesn't know Savannah, and she doesn't know Nancy, and she was quite shocked, I would think, to learn that Nancy's other daughter, Annie, and her husband Tommaso, that they're next door neighbors. And they never came over and said, hi, we're the new neighbors, and, we're Annie and Tommaso, and here's our phone number. Like, nope. Like, they always stuck to themselves. And she said that, she would never even see him, take out the trash for a while. And, but eventually, I think her husband or her son, somebody saw him walking a little black dog, but she's never seen the dog. She had never even knew they had a kid. And she said they did have more than one vehicle. Like when they first got there, there were other vehicles that were over there, but, it might not have been theirs. And I guess since all this happened, she kind of researched this a little bit. And she said, I'm not really into his kind of music. And then she read some of Annie's writings, and she said, I'm not into that either. And those weren't her exact words. You'd have to listen to it. I listened to it in bed, and eventually I started to doze off. So I didn't get through the whole thing. I got through most of it, but I never heard the part about Vermont. If anybody else that's here saw that, did she say anything about Vermont? Because that's a rumor lately that they're in Vermont, but I didn't hear that in the conversation, the part that I heard. But she acted like, she didn't say they were unfriendly, but they're kind of standoffish. Like, and it's not just her, like, they're standoffish. Um, and she talked about, how she's got a dog and her dog was going crazy because all these people were coming to her door while everybody was at work. And the dog was like panicking and freaking out because people were always banging on the door trying to talk to them. And eventually the FBI showed up to look in their backyard, and they were just looking for something that might have been dropped. Oh, okay. Leanne says she didn't hear anything about Vermont. Yeah, I didn't either, but I did kind of, I had my pre-sleep, doze where I kind of sleep for a while and then I wake up for another few hours and then I go back to my videos and then I finally go to bed. Donna says, I'm so glad you love the angel. I'm probably getting off here, having a birthday party for a friend today. Okay, have some cake for me. That sounds good. Thank you, Donna. I will cherish this for the rest of my life, Donna. That means so much to me. And thank you for handling the situation with who. We can talk about that later. I heard Brian saying that they hadn't been in the house for a couple of weeks or two. Yeah, this lady said she hadn't seen like any activity at that house since the beginning of May, and that the trash cans weren't like moving anymore. Like nobody was taking them out and hauling them in, on trash days. So she didn't think anybody has been in that house since beginning of May. And Jay, did I miss you? I just saw you on the computer screen, but I didn't see you. Oh, here you are. I'm so sorry. Jay, welcome in. How are you doing, Jay? Say hello to Roger. Yeah, so I doubt that this Connie is one of our Connies, because my mod Connie, she's from Minnesota, but there's two new Connies that have come in, Connie E, Connie I, but I kind of doubt they're Connie from Tucson. There's no mail delivery either. Yes, I caught that. So they're either holding the mail or they're forwarding the mail. There's no mail delivery, and she hadn't seen them taking out the trash. Like she purposefully looks now. She didn't really think about it. I love you too, Donna. I'm so glad that I'm meeting all new friends on here. Wow. Thank you so much. And I will send you a message when I take care of your package. I'm going to work on that tonight during the ball game. But yeah, she basically said they didn't know them. They didn't know they lived next door. I mean, they moved in less than a year before Nancy's disappearance. But she never saw, them bringing anybody over. But she was not really looking because the houses sit kind of far apart. And there's like some desert shrubbery and cacti that I guess kind of block the view. And she says when she pulls out of her property, she drives the other way. So she's never really, paid attention to that house. But it's odd that new neighbors would move in because the other neighbors, it was an optometrist and his wife or an ophthalmologist, and that he retired and then they moved. And she's like, yeah, a lot of people people in the neighborhood, they passed or they retired, they moved, they've been there for 35 friggin' years. But she didn't know who lived across the street. None of the other neighbors, apparently, if they knew, they didn't mention it to her. Like, she had no idea. Even after the Nancy Guthrie case happened, she didn't know right away. I'm not going to see basketball. I'm seeing baseball, Dodgers and Rockies. I wonder if they could be living in Nancy's house. That's a possibility, but I kind of doubt it because until all the YouTubers got kicked out of the neighborhood, there was no activity over there either. And the driveway was all roped off. Remember, they put the chains up, and those chains didn't seem to be moving. And if you were living there and you had to drive in and out of that driveway all day, somebody would have to, get out of the car and undo the chain and then pull out and then get out again. And when I saw that Nancy's driveway being chained off, I got the feeling that nobody was living in the house. Oh. Let's see. JLR drove by Annie's old house today, and wow, is all I can say. Oh, wow. Okay, I haven't seen that. Welcome in, Tina. But yeah, the lady, she used to walk her dog at night, and she says it's kind of scary because it's dark and the coyotes, and sometimes there's a javelina, and she's kind of scared. But she's like, now since this happened, it's kind of affected her. And like her husband or her son goes out and walks their dog at night because, yeah, she did mention that that her husband said that the guy that lived there was piddling in the backyard. But they never saw until after this case happened, like even trash going out of that place and recyclables. But maybe they weren't paying attention. Because she said usually when she pulls out, she drives the opposite direction. And her house is a little bit to the west. So she must pull out of her driveway and drive west rather than east. But it's weird that, you got brand new next door neighbors and you don't know who they are. I mean, I live in a big city, we meet the neighbors in the middle of the night when there's an earthquake, but I've lived here long enough where I know most of the neighbors now, but not everybody. But it's different. It's a big city. But remember, Tucson is a little big city, and everybody is separated by the 1 degree of separation now, not 6 degrees like I've been reporting. It's 1 degree of separation. But she said it's not really the same anymore, like that a lot of things have changed. And I've heard other people that live there have said the same thing, that it's not the same anymore. But nothing is the same anymore. Los Angeles is not the same anymore. It's still a great place to live, but it's got its share of trouble. And it's expensive. If I didn't have my doctors and my hospital here, I'd probably just move on to someplace cheap, because it's not like I go anywhere anymore. I don't get to take advantage of all the wonderful things that are in my city anymore. Lights on in Nancy's house this week. Oh, okay. And Joyce, when you say the noise in the backyard, you were referring to the noise that this woman, Connie's husband, heard in Annie Tomaso's backyard, right? Yeah, she said that COVID-19 really changed Tucson. Yeah, I think it changed the whole world. And yesterday when I did my medical, I always wear my mask. And the lady, she asked me, do you have any cold or flu symptoms? And I'm like, no. I said, I just wear my mask because I've worn it since my chemo in 2019. And she goes, oh, no, we have to ask everybody that now. And I was like, it's been a while since I've been in a doctor's office, and they've asked and I watched every patient that was coming in. They were like, as soon as they walked in the door, any cold or flu symptoms, any cold or flu symptoms. So apparently there's some bad stuff out there right now, including California. Hey, Susan, welcome in. There's a new Susan. What have happened to all my Sues and my Susans? I see a Sandra in there. I know Sandra. I had my Kellys and my Karens. And then all my Sues and my Susans and Suzannes. And now I've got all my Connies, but none of them are in the chat today. And we just happen to be talking about a lady in Tucson named Connie. But, I'm not going to throw up any channel links on my channel to other channels. But if you want to hear that phone call, it's very interesting. It's worth a listen. Whether you care for JLR or not, it's an interesting video. Just to hear the neighbor's perspective that, and she didn't even know them. She had no clue. I mean, she knows who Savannah Guthrie is and watches her on television, but she had no clue that Savannah's family was next door and Savannah was staying there for a while. Like, she didn't know that. This has all come to her attention now. But the police, I think she said it was the FBI, if I'm not mistaken, somebody came and wanted to check their backyard just to say they wanted to see if anybody had dropped anything. Hey, Christy. So she kind of gathered that maybe they were looking for a phone or something. Like, I don't know why she thought that, but she wants to see if anybody, they came to her property and they went to, I guess, the property on the other side of Annie Tomaso's, and they looked around. Yeah, kind of creepy. Like, if you found out that your next door neighbor was, someone in their family had been kidnapped, presumably unalived, and, 80 to 85% of the world's population thinks they're somehow involved and, they're living next door to you. It'd be a little unnerving, I would think. You never know, And he would just, other people saw him like standing outside smoking or walking a dog, but she wasn't even aware they had a dog. She wasn't even aware they had a kid. What's up with that? Roger Forever. Thank you for the gold coin, my friend. Nice to see you. It's just, I think the whole thing it's strange. That they moved into that house, but yet supposedly he hadn't worked for quite a while, but we don't know if that's true or a BS rumor. He's not on the directory of the school where he supposedly worked. Neighbors didn't even really see trash being pushed in and out of that house until after all this happened. Like, well, where were they? Where's their kid? Does their kid go to school? Like, I mean, and it sounds like this lady's kids are like older, like they're grown up. Do I think Nancy is still alive? No, sadly. I think she died within a day or two. I think she passed quickly. But there's no way to know for sure. But the impossibilities it's just, I just don't think it's even possible. Hi, Hupster, says Jay. Yeah, Jay and Roger are married. Roger, you treat her nice because she's a nice one. You guys actually make a cute couple, I think. Yeah, so there's not really anything new to report here. I did want to do the opening for Donna. Yeah, this is so great. This means so much to me that somebody handmade this just for me. And they sent a card, and like, I love Peanuts. I've been watching that basically since birth. There's got, Snoopy in the red doghouse, and Snoopy's typing me a letter. Yeah, this is so cool. Very nice. It's been a long time. Well, I was going to say it's been a long time since I got a greeting card, but no, I'm wrong about that because I got so many cards on my birthday, which was very unusual. And most of them were from total strangers because of the YouTube channel, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, this is amazing. And I think the DWP, the one that sent me the almost $300 bill, I think they've just cut my power again. And maybe I should be thankful that they're cutting it off every 10 minutes, because can you imagine how much it would be on top of this bill? See, this is why it hurts me that the AC is not energy efficient. And even the AC guy, he's a little Russian bald dude. He said that too. And he's like, it might be better for you to get more Porta ACs. They would run cleaner energy and they wouldn't take as much wattage or whatever. Like, but I said, I'm renting a place though with central air. The central air should be enough, but I'm just not, I never have got the airflow. And then when the city came in and they changed all the thermostats out to these Nest and they're digital, the one thing that's convenient about it is I could be laying in a hospital emergency room or a hospital bed, and I can turn on my air or my heat and adjust the temperature for my pets. I do love that aspect because I can know what's going on in my house when I'm not there because I'm in the hospital. But I don't like the fact that the city says eco mode, or we're in emergency power saver mode and we're cutting it off for 3 hours in the evening when it's the hottest. Yeah, I really don't think so, Susan. Yeah. In fact, nobody's even asked me that in a long time because, I mean, it's day number 199. Yeah, like we're past the 6-month mark on this case. And I just want her found. And, we did report yesterday. I reported on the second set of bones because there was one last week, a set, and one this week, but they think that both of those so far are unrelated to Nancy Guthrie. And then remember when they found the person behind the church deceased? They've since identified that person, and it was a 66-year-old female. And they know her name, like they know who she is. And I don't know her story, like, how she ended up behind the church parking lot deceased, but, at least she's been identified. And then there was the first set of bones, and that belonged to, they think, a Native American because of the Native American artifacts that were found. And they think they were like, they had been there for maybe hundreds of years, and those were handed over to a local Indian tribe. Unfortunately, she was probably dead after the second week. Yeah, Jason, I think even sooner than that. That is daylight robbery for electric. Your space is half of mine, and the highest monthly bill my son is 158, and he runs AC constantly. That is terrible. Yeah, this is the LADWP bill though. It does come every 60 days instead of every month. So this is for 2 months, just so to be clear. But that doesn't include the extra utility bill that's tacked on by the building that adds up to the rent, and it makes, they said that would be about $35, and now it's like it's probably double or triple that most months. It's just like, at some point I just won't be able to live here anymore, but because of my limited disability income, I won't make enough money to be able to rent something, because in a big city you have to your rent can be no more than 33% of your total income. So at some point I'm gonna have to sell my car and get a bigger car. But what's going to happen to my pets? And I can't live without my pets. That's why I live. That's why I get up and I struggle every single day. I'm like, it's so hard when I wake up. I feel so bad and I feel so weak and I'm so like dehydrated. Like, ugh, I've got to get up. Like, oh my God, it's like the afternoon. Like I have to get up, and I think, oh my God, I got to go clean. I got to clean the cat litter box and the bunny litter, and I got to give her afternoon snack and her treat. And it's those animals keep me going. Without those animals, if I had to live in a car on the streets, I don't think I would have my will to keep going. If I were younger, it would probably be easy to just like, I'm going to get a van and I'm going to sleep in the van at night. Just go park on a quiet street. But that's hard to do because a lot of neighborhoods in LA, they don't allow overnight parking. And in most cities, it's illegal to sleep in a vehicle on the street. And so a lot of people are sleeping at the CVS parking lot or whatever. They're sleeping in a Walmart parking lot. But that's dangerous. Like, and I can't do that with my health. I just can't do that. And not, I go to the bathroom like, 10 times in the middle of the night. What would I do? Sleeping in the back seat of a car. Um, things have got to change. I mean, this country is in the worst shape it's ever been in. And, you know, the medical bills just keep piling up and piling up. Thank God I had savings throughout most of my PI career. Once I had my business, I had savings, and that got me through, during the worst part of it. But that savings is almost gone now. And so, in the past, I wouldn't stress out about this. I'd be mad, but I wouldn't stress out about it. I'm totally stressed out about this. Like, you got to be kidding me. And it's only one. There's another one coming. It's just like, oh my God. But yeah, Sherry, it is robbery. Tina says, have a great day. Stay safe, everyone. Hey, Kathy Doherty, welcome in one of my pips. Let's see. I got a lot of pips that came in today. And thank you for all those that have joined the membership. And I can't remember who it was, but was it Roxanne? I haven't seen her yet. Somebody was watching some of my older videos last night and they saw the MH370 video. And I wanted to shout them out and say thank you because she said it was a really good video. And I actually have two. But I did a new one, like an update, like a year ago. Because I did one of the anniversary videos and then I did another anniversary video of MH370. And then I say, okay, I'm going to put a clip in here from my prior video. And if you notice that my voice kind of goes quiet and I kind of talk slow, that's because that was March 2024, the clip that I put in, which is the middle of the video that was made March 2025. And during that time, I was waiting to have my first heart ablation. And I had to wait from November, December, January, February, March. And I'd been in the hospital like probably at least a dozen times between the diagnosis and the surgery. And so when I would talk, I had to talk like this, like, because I couldn't catch, my breath. So if you notice that in that video that I sound kind of down, it wasn't that I was down. It was just that like my heart wasn't beating right and I wasn't breathing right and it was affecting my lungs and my brain. And so the fact that I even was able to do that second video is pretty crazy. And I can't even watch those anymore when I go, oh, that was one of the videos I made when my heart was failing, because I'm like, Like I can hear it in my voice. And then also somebody, and I thought this was interesting. What do I think about Katie one? I think she's adorable. We'll see what happens with that. Lindsay, welcome in. Somebody, one of my, I think it's a newer viewer. Was it Patricia? I have so many viewers now. I just like, for me, because I try to remember everybody's name. Somebody mentioned that I was wearing my twin shirt yesterday. That's that Minnesota twin shirt that the Minnesota Twins sent. And on the sleeve of that shirt, like right here, there's a big patch that comes with the shirt, and it's a cancer awareness. Because when I wrote the baseball teams, I mentioned that I was a breast cancer survivor. And so she asked me, and I kind of laughed, but she said, "Are you wearing a rainbow patch? Was that a rainbow patch?" And I was like, "No, it's a cancer awareness." And then she was like, "Oh, okay." Now, if it had been, that would be okay. Like, if somebody says, "Here, we'll send you a rainbow patch," okay, I'll put it on. But no, that was not a rainbow patch. It was a cancer awareness patch. But I do think rainbow patches are very pretty. Shadow has company. Yes, he does. And I don't think he's into her yet, but he's accepting her. A little bit more every single day. Cameron lives in Vermont. Yes, he does. So yeah, we still don't know the whereabouts of Annie and Tommaso, but like the mail delivery has stopped at that house. The trash is not, the cans, the recycles, all, the trash bins, the recycle bins are not coming back and forth between the house and the curb, and they haven't been since the first week of May. So she thinks they've been out of that house since the first week of May. But she wasn't really paying attention until like all these people started showing up and pounding on their door while she said everybody was at work. And it was really affecting them because, they had a dog and the dog wasn't used to that. And the dog was like, getting very, sounds like anxious or nervous. And they even saw their house like on TV and could see their dog like going crazy, barking through the living room window, I guess through the curtain or whatever. And they were just like, oh my God. Yeah, and then at one point, she finally opened the door for somebody, and it was a reporter. Might have been the New York Times, I can't remember, but they misconstrued something she said and then falsely reported it, said she was obsessively, researching the case, which wasn't true at all. The lady sounded really nice, really chill, but, here are these people living right next door to her, and she had no idea. Even after the case started, like, and one of her kids said, well, maybe there's a lot of people here because of Nancy Guthrie, but they couldn't figure that out. Why? Because they didn't know they were living next door to Annie and Tommaso. And to this day, they've never even met them. In fact, I guess, was it her husband or her son has seen Tommaso and like he waved once or something, but they've never ever seen Annie. She wasn't aware herself that they even had a little black dog. She was not aware that they even had a child. And her husband said, he heard the neighbor like, piddling in the backyard at night. Like, I don't know what's he doing back there. It's just weird. And then, she looked him up and she's like, I'm not really into his kind of music. And I read some of her writings and, whatever she said. I mean, I think it was probably freaked her out. I mean, if I found out I had a new neighbor who was a suspect in the biggest kidnapping / homicide case in the world, and, they were an alleged member of some cult group that, that they might be witches, like, I would be a little taken back, even as a private investigator. I'd be like, what? Like, what is going on? And it's not like it's an apartment, where they can just say, you know what, I'm giving my 30 days and I'm moving. Maybe Annie is hanging from the rafters. I don't know. I mean, I hope they're okay. I hope for everybody's sake, not just for our own mental health, but for Savannah's sake and for the grandkids' sake and their child's sake. I hope that they're not involved. But, I also don't like all the red flags that started on day one, even before 911 when they went ringy dingy dingy. Like, I don't like the red flags. And, I'm not going to go over everything again. But yeah, hey, Marcy. That's funny. Maybe Annie is hanging from the rafters. This isn't a true crime page, and that looks like one of Dolly Vision's drone pics. This isn't a true crime page. This is an April Davis PI YouTube channel, and it's about my life since cancer. So you know what, Dolly? I'm just going to take you out. Who is she? We talk about everything here. That's why it took me so long to get monetized, because I don't have a niche channel. But it has more moved towards like new stuff. Oh. Somebody with no life who has nothing better to do than to harass others and interrupt my chat with all the people. I got 68 people here who want to be here that, obviously are enjoying the conversation or they wouldn't be here. Now it's up to 73. Oh, it would be 74, but I had to take Dolly out. Yeah, and this is a free photo that's on Google. It's not, it doesn't have any copyright, attached to it. Because if it did, I wouldn't use it. Hey, Pickled Bird. Welcome in. Pickled Bird. I like that. Are you new here or have you been here before? I'm not sure. Let me know. I didn't know what she was talking about. Either did I, Kathy. It doesn't even matter. But thank you for not responding to the trolls. I appreciate that. Marcy, thumbs up. I hope you guys are giving me a thumbs up. 61 people in the house, 36 thumbs up. But yeah, my subscriber count is stuck again. Oh, now it's down to 8649. I had been up to 8660. I'm telling you, when I was at 3650 and between 3650 and 3660 for like a week, it was like a windshield wiper. Up, down, back, left, right. This is what's happening 5,000 subs later. I'm at 8649, and I was at the 8650 some mark when I started. Like, that's weird. Usually during a live, you gain a few. And it's not like I'm not gaining, because I am gaining, but then I'm losing. It's at the stuck mark. I have to go out and make a long form video on something that's like huge news, and then it'll go up again. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Marcy. Yes, many times. I thought so, Pickled Bird. But I just had to tell you again that I like that username, Pickled Bird. I see it looks like a face of a woman. Is there a bird behind you? I can't really tell because the avatars are super tiny on my phone. Hey, Lisa Glanz, welcome in. So yeah, that's the newest, the latest on Nancy Guthrie. I just thought that was interesting. And if you guys want to hear that interview, you're going to have to go over to that other YouTube channel. But I thought that was a really cool thing that, that lady, she managed to get through, to one of the larger, YouTubers, boots on the ground. And, she was able to tell her story. Because that tells you a lot, that the neighbors kind of considered the family, as she put it in her words, they were kind of standoffish. And I think that's a very good description based on what I've been hearing. Oh, Oh, it's your boyfriend on the. Oh, yeah, I couldn't tell what it was. Is that a man standing behind you, or is that like a bird on your shoulder? I couldn't see. If a witch was living next to me, I know. It's kind of freaky. There's a new neighbor that's across from me, and he used to live in this. Well, he lives in this place where this model used to live, and she was such a wonderful person. And ever since she left, because she was only like 27, 28, and she had enough money to buy her own house, and that was during the pandemic. Where she had to they had to do shoots like in her apartment because she couldn't travel, and she goes all over the world. Very famous model, and ever since she left, there's all these people that come and go, come and go, come and go. It's like a revolving door. And now there's some like weird person up there, and I can't say too much, but I'm like, I got my eye out on that place, and I'm glad I got a camera that faces that unit. Just saying. Um, I don't know. I have no idea if that's going on. I never go up the stairs, so something's weird. Something's up at that place, or not necessarily up at that place, but up with the person that moved in there. And they just got rid of a couple of like problem situations in this building, and then I'm like, I don't know, I'm a little sus of that guy. But I haven't had any issues with them, so I'm keeping my mouth shut. But I keep my eyes open. Yeah, there used to be some guy in here that had a legalized weed operation, but yet something was going on in the building too, and it was a little unnerving, but he moved after like 20 plus years or something. Does super chats help? Oh my gosh. You have no idea. Not only does it help me, but it helps the algorithm because it shows YouTube when I get the jewels and the super chats or even the super thanks on the long play. Because after this video uploads, it'll be considered a long play video. It will no longer be considered a live. So it'll still be under the live tab, but it'll count towards views just like a regular video would. And when YouTube sees that people are throwing out a super thanks, a super chat, you get the money. only get a percentage. If it's paid by Apple takes a 30% fee right off the top, and then YouTube takes another 30% on the net. So the gross minus the 30% Apple fee, then their 30%. So I get less than half if it's Apple, but if it's Android or desktop, I get 70%. And the jewels, if you spent like 2 pennies, I get like 1 penny. Yeah, but I also have links. I have my PayPal, my Cash App, my Venmo. I even have my cancer GoFundMe up, but they charge a small fee too. Because I still have medical bills from that. Jackie West, hi April, Pips, and Peps. Welcome in, Jackie. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to wrap up soon. I just wanted to open Donna's present. Look at this. She sent me a crocheted angel that she made herself with a Snoopy card. I love it so much. It was a dark and stormy time, so I wrote a list of all the reasons that you're the best, in case you forgot. Thinking of you. And then she wrote me a little letter, and we read it online. We read it on the show, and oh yeah, I just love it so much. It is so cute, Lisa, isn't it? She was here earlier, but she had to go to a friend's birthday party, so she couldn't stay long, and she said to unsmush it, but it wasn't smushed. And it's got like a little wire on the back so I can hang it somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. I have to think about it. It is sweet, Kathy. Like I got that letter the other day from Jean. We talked about it before, the lady from Canada, and it was just such a sweet letter, I do love Snoopy and Woodstock, yes. I love the whole Peanuts gang. And if you ever see the Snoopy, the the little milk glasses from 1965 where there's Snoopy and he's in the Red Baron character, and he's sitting on the doghouse, which is normally red, but some of the cups, they're orange. Those are worth a fortune. If you ever, and not the replica ones that look exactly like it, but they're like Anchor Hawking and they're white milk glass, and it has the red doghouse and Snoopy, but he's got like the the pilot like cap on, and it says 1965, and it's got the little copyright at the underneath the picture. Grab it, because occasionally there'll be people that'll sell things like that at yard sales, like when somebody passes away or an estate sale, and they have no clue that those are worth a fortune. I was thinking about that, Susan, but I haven't had a Christmas tree in 10 years. But that was my first thought, like I could hang this on a Christmas tree. Yeah, so cute. I will cherish it forever until my last breath. And I need that. I need an angel to be looking out for me. So yeah, if you missed the beginning and you want to hear the latest, I just talked about Connie, not one of our Connies. Well, at least not that I know of. I don't think she's one of our Connies, because I've had 3 Connies lately. I've, my mod, Connie LA, and then there's been Connie E, and there's been Connie I. Presumably this is a different Connie, but she is a neighbor to Annie and Tommaso. Yeah, and she only place that goes to the doctor. That's basically it for me too. That's where I was yesterday, Kathy. Yeah. So she did a call to another YouTuber, and it's out there on the net. Late today, says Nanette. Yeah, you'll have to see me on the replay, because I'm only going to be here another couple minutes. I really need to eat and hydrate, and the last few days, the last week or so, I've just felt like really, really crummy. Even going to the doctor yesterday was hard, and I'm just like, but at the end of this month, boy, I got a cancer type of an appointment, and then I have my my cardiology in September, and now I got to do another test for the urologist, and it's just like it never ends. So I do need to eat. That'll kind of lift me up. But just my just overall malaise and weakness, I just don't think is a good sign. But I've had a lot of X-rays and scans, and nobody's seeing anything. But remember, I haven't had a normal blood test either in 4 years. So, and digestively, I'm just not right the last several months. So, I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can sustain with all these, especially with, things like this coming in the mail, and continue to live on my own, and, try to take care of the apartment and the animals, and, drive back and forth to all these appointments. And I don't know how much longer I can really take care of myself at this point, because, I'm not that old, but after what I've been through, my body feels like it's 80. Some days I'm like, oh my God, is this it? Like, am I going to make it through the day? Can I tell you whose channel she was on? Oh yeah, she was on JLR's channel. I just need to hydrate and eat, and then as the day goes on, I'll get a little energy surge. Section 8. Yeah, that'd be very hard to get here in LA. Yeah. I don't know. I can't think that far ahead right now. I just, my biggest thought is I got to pay this by September 1st, which is the day that my next rent will be due. And then I'll also get my secondary utility bill with the rent. That doesn't include SoCal gas, my internet, or my phone, which when I get my August YouTube check, and I don't mean the one that's coming in August, but my August one is still, the totals are pretty good. I still have 15 days left to add to that. I will get that in September, at the end of September, and I'm going to use that check to pay off the the iPhone replacement expense. So, and that's going to take most of that check because this wasn't cheap to replace this phone. I was hoping to have enough to also pay myself back for the iPad that I replaced, that I do use about, 75% of the time while I'm talking to you guys. I have, the iPad going sometimes, the desktop going, and the iPhone going at the same time. So, at least I can be thankful that I met all you guys and that, a lot of new people came in and subscribed and started watching my videos. And, that's where I really need, the money to be coming in. It's just on the views. And, anything else that I get through the super chats, the super thanks, the Cash Apps, the Venmos, the PayPals, the donations, that's just extra. But I really need to make it on the views. And the last, I'd say the last month or so, the views are really going up. I hit my, I've already hit the 1 million views and I'm already up to 1.3 million. Now, my favorite YouTuber, just like one of his channels, has 1.3 billion. And that's just one of, he's got like 9 or 10 channels over the years. So, I don't consider myself a success, but for me, that was huge that I hit, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, 6, 7, 8, and I hit the million views. And I had 2 of the top 100 hype videos on YouTube in the same week. And that was out of millions and millions and millions of videos that were released during that time frame. Do I get a medical discount for the power bill? Yes, I do. In fact, I better check just to make sure. Your doctor doesn't see you twice a year and order blood work. Yeah, the oncologist does. And no, I don't qualify for medical assistance now because every time I get that little 1 to 2% raise in my disability, it's kicked me off of everything. It's kicked me off of a secondary medical. It's kicked me off of food assistance, and it's kicked me off of pharmaceutical assistance. So my discount was $35.42. So this bill would have been way over $300 had I not had the $35 discount. Yeah. Having storms going to go hide. Oh my gosh, Brian. You're the Brian from Wisconsin, right? Yeah, I go to the doctor all the time, and I'm in the hospital all the time, Dale. So there's probably already been like 20 blood tests this year. But I will probably have to get another one after my oncology. I have an appointment that I have to do at the end of the month, and then I'll have to go see her or talk to her, and then she'll order hers, assuming I don't end up in the hospital for my heart before that. So yeah, I'm a human pincushion. So yeah, I do get that's a good question, Annette. Yeah, that's with the discount. And I got it yesterday because I went to go pick up my package, from Donna. And then it was like, this was in there. And I'm like, oh no! And my credit card bill. That had the sofa replacement. Remember, the spring had been popped out of the other one for like more than a year. So I got to pay that with that bill. In fact, I paid that last night. In 3 days in advance of my July YouTube check, which is coming on the 21st of August. We hope. That's an approximate date, but it should be the 21st. Unless the 21st is on a weekend. Let me look. When is the 21st, everybody? Oh, that's Friday. So I should have my July YouTube totals in my account on August the 21st. When you get paid, you'll send a super chat. You don't have to do that, Kathy Doherty. But if you do send a super chat, everybody put for LADWP, including Sandra, who told me, and it must have been after I went on the air because I've got my notifications turned off so they don't like kick me off YouTube. She said she sent a $2 PayPal. So, and today's show, guess what I've received in today's show? I have 7 cents in jewels today. And that's my share, the 7 cents. So somebody paid like, it was a combination. I've got, it probably came out of their pocket as, 14 cents. I've got 7 cents. I think it was a couple different ones from different people. But see, that all adds up in a month. They do add up. That might put an extra, $50 in my YouTube check every month, just getting the jewels. So that's terrific. You don't need to do it, but, I'm not going to turn it away either. I mean, it's YouTube. That's, I got almost close to 6 years of expenses into this channel. And now I'm going to be able to start, like after the next check, not the one that's coming Friday, but the one coming at the end of September, that's going to pay off the iPhone replacement that, and I had insurance and they'd already sent me a new one, but the new one was refurbished and it didn't last for not even a year. So, let's see. Have you checked on the internet for insurance that covers medication and gas bills like Horizon Insurance? Any food allowance for $205 a month? No, but I will check into Horizon Insurance. Let's see. Yeah, Kelsers, I am getting ready to go off the air. I got to go eat, actually. Got to get some fuel in my body. I've been drinking a Canada Dry 0 calorie or 0 sugar ginger ale. Do I have dual windows in the apartment? Nope. Wish I did. So yeah, if you didn't see the beginning, you guys can go back after I go off the air. Now the chat won't reload until about 24 hours. No problem. Yeah, we've all got things to do. Oh, you missed this, Kelsers. Look at this. I got this. This was crocheted, and it was sent to me from Donna McCoy, along with a Snoopy card, which I love. Yeah. So for those that missed that, but just go see you can go see me open it live. But thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good evening.